Hey, Topping Airlines Math and History, and we're going to be solving a strange slope-intercept form. So we're going to be using a word problem, and what we're going to be trying to do is try and change it to a slope-intercept form. So here is the problem. So a shy guy from Mario Party 8 is selling candy. He makes a profit of $86 in total. He sells $15 per every thrice candy he sells and $10 per every slow-go candy he sells. The candies in the game are sort of like power-ups. Like for the slow-go candy, it makes the dice rolls in the game a lot slower. And with the thrice candy, it makes you roll 3 dice to get through the game faster. So the candies in the game are basically power-ups. So what we're trying to do is define the variables in the story problem and write an equation in slope-intercept form. So what we're going to do is define the variables, what is actually happening, and we're going to try and turn it into a slope-intercept form. So, let's try and turn this problem from words into numbers as an equation. So we have the information for our variables. The shy guy sells $15 per every thrice candy he sells. So we're going to write 15 t lowercase t for every thrice candy he sells. And we're also going to say that he sells $10 per every slow-go candy. We're not going to use the letter S because that can be mistaken as a number. So we're going to be using the letter W. So we know it's not really a number. So we're going to say that W equals the number of each slow-go candy the shy guy sells, and T represents the number of thrice candy he sells. So it looks like we have defined what our variables are, what we're actually measuring, and what we're actually trying to figure out. Now let's try and make an equation. So, we understand that in total, the shy guy gets a profit of $86. So that can tell us that we're going to write an equal to $86. That's how much the shy guy earns in total. And we have the information, $15 per thrice candy and $10 per slow-go candy. So what we're going to be doing is write 15t, and we have to add that by 10w is going to equal 86. But we have two variables that equal a number. This is really hard to simplify. So that's why we want to turn it into slope-intercept form. Remember, the slope-intercept form is an isolated y has to be mx, which is the slope, add that by our starting position, or b. So, what we're going to be doing here is, with one of the variables, just like y, we're going to get one of these variables of our choice isolated, and we'll have the whole equation rewritten, but in another way of saying it. But it's still the same way of telling the story. So, which variable do you want to select to isolate? Type in the comments below. So, I'm going to go with 15t, because T is the first letter of the name Topping Airlines. So what we're going to do is we're going to have to get that t alone. There is one thing we don't want to do to that t, is change it. We're going to lock it in place so we know we don't want to touch it. And we want to get that variable w on the other side. So the 15t is all alone. So we can subtract that by 10w and subtract this side by 10w. You don't know what w is, so we're going to rewrite the problem as 15t is going to equal 86 minus that by 10w. There is another step that we have to do to get that t isolated. That 15 is not supposed to be here. We want t isolated just like our only y. So we're going to do something about that 15. Instead of multiplying, because it's 15 multiplied by how many numbers of thrice candy, we have to divide everything by 15. So when you do that, you get rid of the 15s, so t is all alone. So t is going to equal, if you do 86 divided by 15, it will become a decimal. And if you're in high school, the math teachers will want you to leave it as a fraction. Subtract that by 10w divided by 15. That will turn into 10, negative 10, 15w. So, since we have t isolated, we can rearrange the problem to make it look like a y equals mx plus b problem. So, we're gonna have our t right here since it's isolated. And since we have 86 divided by 15 and minus that by 10, negative 10 divided by 15w, what we're gonna do is have the variable in front first. So t is gonna equal negative 10 over 15w, which can be simplified to t equals negative 2/3 w, and we're gonna say add that by 86 over 15, which you can't really do because it will become a decimal. And this is our y-intercept, where it wants to start. So this now looks like our y equals mx plus b problem. Referring back to the candies and the Shy Guy, that's saying every time you sell a thrice candy, then this is going to happen. Negative 2 over 3w plus 86 divided by 15. That is what's going to happen every time you sell a thrice candy. I hope this video has helped you. Thank you for watching Taoping Airlines Math Industry. Like and subscribe!